And I'm like, well, she's a narcissist. She's obsessed with herself. She's obsessed with youth, and so obsessed that she doesn't allow anybody else to live. The priority is her. And that's when I came up with the plastic surgery stuff. And I Hi,
Perfect.
Jana.
Hi, Gabriel. How
Good
are
to
you?
meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Tudo bem?
Tudo. You Brazilian?
I'm Brazilian. I'm
Oh,
Brazilian. Amazing. Amazing. Oh my God, what a movie.
yeah.
Very, very scary some moments. Very beautiful as well because it was filmed in Portugal. But what was like the inspiration for the script?
And so when I started, I made like a little grid, and on top I had like horror monsters, like vampires and ogres and witches, and vertically I had like family relationships, like brother and sister, mom and son, husband and wife, etc., grandma, and then I kept filling in like ogre and grandma and grandpa, and I tried to come up with some idea or whatever. And once I hit on like witch and mother son, I came up with the very core of this pitch, and I was like, this is cool. I can run with this. And I showed it to Margarita, my partner who produced the film with me. And Margarita was like, of the three ideas I thought was cool, she's like, this is the one we should do. And and yeah, so we ran with that. And then like in terms of inspirations, like I was watching so much horror to sort of get my footing because I love horror movies and love, but I'd never watched them in with the idea of like let's make a horror movie and sort of figure out what happens in the lab while you're writing and filming the film. And there's films that really inspired me, like Shining, or recent ones like Hereditary, or a bunch of Japanese horror, whether like Mizoguchi or The Ring, I think is awesome, or like the Korean film The Wailing, I think is so cool. So I was getting inspiration from that, and then I really love like classic literature, and I reread some of the classics of horror, and both of those texts plus like Oedipus Rex by Sophocles, I was like, oh, Oedipus plus Dracula, this is cool, something fits here. And so I started exploring that and came up with this idea that you know get takes from a lot of movies and takes from a lot of old classical literature, but it felt sort of new to me, this myth of this monster.
Yeah, I like it as well because the witch, I don't want to give too much away, but the
Totally.
witch, she's she wants to keep y- youth. She wants to keep alive, and
Yeah.
it's a very
Who does
modern.
it?
Yeah, it's a classic, but at the same time, it's very modern because we see nowadays all these procedures that we have
Yeah, a lot of plastic
to take
surgery.
out. Yes, plastic surgery. I was like, it was so cool because of that. I love that,
Yeah,
and
that actually came because like you're always I really like mixing sort of like cliche classic tropes. Like I'm like, all right, witch. Let's think of a cool witch concept or something. And when I started writing, it's this like cliche, like old wrinkly woman, and I'm feeling like it's a little stupid or something. And I share it with Daniel, who's like my closest friend, and he did Diamantino with me, the my first feature. And he's like, yeah, it's a little, might be misogynist or something. You're like, basically the monster is this old woman or something. I'm like, yeah, it's ageist and misogynist. That's bad. So I keep like thinking, well, what am I really trying to get at through this myth? And I'm like, well, she's a narcissist. She's obsessed with herself. She's obsessed with youth, and so obsessed that she doesn't allow anybody else to live. The priority is her. And and that's when I came up with the plastic surgery stuff. And I thought that was such a cooler, witch than the classic thing.
yeah, she's very narcissist. I love it. I love it. I think it was a really cool idea that you mix it up. And the cast is amazing. But I'm gonna start with Bridget. What was about her previous work that got your attention to pick her to play Riley? Because she's the one that kind of outside of the what's going on there.
Yeah, Bridget, like just a super talented actor, like incredible. Like on set, it was just such a pleasure to work with them every day. Like, and you're asking them to like I don't know, just like really a pro. It was really incredible. Like such sensitivity. And then a very beautiful human being, you know, somebody who's like also very understanding and caring and really working. And some of the cool things, you know, like I don't know, I felt like Brigette really trusted me, which there was no reason. They'd seen Diamantino and they really liked Diamantino. They sent me an email being like, "Love Diamantino, what can we do together?" And I was like, "Well, I have this script. I don't know if it's something you want to do. It's like a horror movie. It's very like cisgender, straight. Like it's not such a queer film. And Bridget's really like into queer cinema. And Diamantino that I'd done is like a very queer film. And Bridget was like, I don't care. This is awesome. Let's do it. And so I was really excited to work with Bridget because I thought their work on Atypical was so incredible, and also Bill and Ted and the other stuff Bridget had done. And yeah, I don't know. There's just a level of trust. Like when we were doing the finale, and Bridget was like screaming for like a week, because you're filming this 10-minute sequence, but it takes you a week. And Bridget during that sequence is mostly screaming, so it's like a week of screaming. It's really exhausting. And Bridget was unsure what kind of scream they should do. I don't know why I said this, but I was like, you should scream like a moose who's in heat. I probably watched like something on YouTube, and there's just this really guttural thing. It seems like it comes from like the center of a moose. It's just like, wow. And Bridget really grabbed onto that. It really works, like you see it on the screen. This moose scream that Bridget does. So I don't know. I think a lot of actors have been like, what's the director talking about? And Bridget was just like, let's go with it. Like, I trust that this is a good intuition, that it's sincere, that it's not,
She's amazing. And her chemistry, like with Carloto, and works, you know what I mean? And I think you
cool.
picked the right ones to do it. And I love Alba as well.
Alba's great. Yeah.
Yeah, she's great. But also the challenges, you know what I mean? And another curiosity, how much was CGI and how much was practical effects that you have on the movie?
I love effects, and I've been working with this team called Irma Lucia, which is in Lisbon for maybe 10, 12 years. And they're really talented VFX people. And so I love post-production. I love, like I've done a little film that actually I filmed in Brazil. I filmed in Mato Grosso about a little robot that's in the Xingu villages. And the robot's digital, and I really love that. I love effects and making digital characters. In my feature, Diamantino, the soccer player that's like inspired on Cristiano Ronaldo, he plays with big, huge, fluffy puppies when he plays soccer. And doing those digital fluffy puppies, like I really get a kick out of it. And then on this film, like horror films, I think one reason that they're sort of cheap and democratic in a way because of that is that the effects are actually quite practical. You just need a knife and some fake blood and people running after each other and fight sequences. It's not so digital, let's say, as many action movies might be. And I really enjoyed that practical part. But we did most of the digital stuff is the green screen to double the twins,
Okay.
And then we had a few like the climax scene at the end, like there's a body replacement. So there's a few tricks that are digital, but mostly it was just the work by Irma Lucia was the green screen to make the twins and stuff. I did green screen because I was like, how can you make it convincing that it's actually twins? And I saw this show with Mark Ruffalo where he plays twins, and he actually waited 6 months to shoot the other twin so he could get a little fatter and stuff, and then they reshot the same scenes. I thought that was so cool. We didn't have that ability with our film, and it was such a big challenge, but I was like, the green screen's really good because if you have a twin that's behind the other doing green screen, you'll be more subconsciously convinced that there's actually two actors on screen. And so we really invested, but it was a huge challenge because we're losing a lot of time to film every scene twice with the same actor.
Yeah, and sometimes it's very difficult to find twins that both act.
Totally. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think it was a great idea. And I love that he used all practical, most of practical stuff. It's really, really cool.
And the action stuff, like the stunts of like, falling from the second floor and stuff, that was all practical. And we had a really great stunt man. We rehearsed everything with little action figures, which I had a lot of fun because I felt like I was a little kid again, playing with Legos. And it was all practical, and his team was so good, doing the fight sequences and stuff. It was really great.
Yeah. Are you planning to film again in Brazil?
Yeah, in Brazil, actually, I don't have any project. I have a project that I want to do in Angola, which I'd filmed there before, a short, and then I'm using a character from the film I did in Mato Grosso, the robot character, but I think I'll film it in the States. It's sort of the feature version of that short.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And I really enjoy like watching Amelia's Children. I thought it was super cool. You used Garota de Ipanema. It was amazing. I was like, oh my God, so cool. Yeah, a lot of
Wow,
like Brazilians references as well. It was filmed in Portugal. And I like felt close to home, even though it was in Portugal. But really
nice.
cool. Yes, Gabriel.
Glad you
And
enjoyed it.
yeah, Gabriel, or Gabriel.
Yeah, whichever country I'm in, it sort of changes.
Exactly. Thank you so much for your time. Muito obrigada, and a lot of success, and keep bringing great movies for us to watch it. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
If you like to support or continue to support Jana on Camera, don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share the videos.